Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, sports fans everywhere. It's time for you to tune into the best HBCU sports broadcast, podcast, any cast, anywhere. This is the Run and Gun Podcast with JPeeps and Jay Cee.
What's going on, folks?
We break ankles.
We got an excellent show lined up for y'all tonight. We got some interesting facts lined up for y'all tonight that you are not going to believe that are true, but they are true.
Facts.
We got some major trades that went down. We got a little bit of Stanley Cup news. We got NCAA Nationals going on in Eugene, Oregon and stuff. We got a whole bunch of stuff, man. It's going to be wild tonight. It's going to be fun. What you got, JC?
What you got?
Say is treat your people right. Don't be violent.
Oh my God! Yeah, literally. And also, too, if you have a comment, please comment below on this video. We would love to hear your input. We will respond to you. Y'all stay tuned. It's going to be a great night.
Hey, what's going on, guys? This is JP.
This is the Bug.
This is Jay Cee.
This is Flash.
This is Denny Hendricks.
And you're listening to
And you're listening to
the Run and Gun Podcast.
So, and here we go. First thing I want to hit on tonight is I'm gonna blow y'all with a little quick fact before we jump into everything and the nitty gritty of HBCU sports. But would y'all believe that because of the COVID-19 pandemic that took place, there was a 3% decline in college enrollments in the spring? But there was a steady increase in enrollment at HBCUs. Primarily, and I will say, the three that stood out the most, of course, Florida A&M had a steady increase. Howard had 15,000 applicants, which was the highest ever. And Bowie State. I'm sorry, I'm not from Baltimore or Maryland like a lot of other people out there. Y'all have mercy on me. But Bowie State had a 70% increase in enrollment.
Go Bowie!
So how about it? You know, crazy.
Okay. Or, I guess, if you're not local, support your HBCUs.
Yes.
For those that don't know what HBCU stands for, it's historically black colleges and universities.
Yes. And also now there's something interesting that I want to hit on to start the night off that I was listening to the I Am Athlete podcast and I saw Dion breaking this down with Brandon Marshall and Fred Taylor and all those guys. And it was the fact that, the HBCU players are actually not reaping the same benefits as predominantly white institution athletes because of the fact that you have most of these HBCU players who work jobs in the off season just to pay their rent and buy their groceries. And yeah, they're on scholarship and stuff, but that money only goes towards so much. And of course, you've got players out there that are now coaches that have played at HBCUs that will honestly tell you they had to work at YMCAs, they had to work at grocery stores, they had to work at car washes, things like that. So I mean, JC, what's your take on it?
I mean, let me get my voice in here. Are we really surprised though? I mean, let's be completely honest here. We've seen that the NCAA as a whole has been very lethargic in handling certain things that are going on with discrepancies between whether it be male or female or racial boundaries per se. For example, with the women's basketball tournament, we saw how
Yep.
they were practicing in their facilities and their food and their gifts, right? Um, uh, are we necessarily surprised that they don't allocate the same kind of money to, I guess, be able for HBCU players to be able to do those sorts of things, not to have to do those sorts of things, I guess?
You're right. Yeah, it's crazy, and I mean, again, I commend these athletes to be able to go through that and then be able to have success on the playing field and in the classroom and in life. And I think that adds to the whole, why HBCUs are better and everything like that. And then, it goes back to the steadily increase in attendance and applications and everything like that. Heck, I mean, FAMU just had a kid that's 16 years old that he's going to be a junior when he enrolls. That got accepted. He turned down Ivy League schools. Um, Howard had the number one basketball prospect in the country literally just sign on last year.
Who did?
Howard did.
That's right. Howard did.
Yep. So I mean, I mean, my thing is, look, success didn't come without a struggle, and how you handle that struggle makes you a stronger person. So I mean, I commend all of these athletes, current and former, for doing this and stuff.
What's going on with the mega camps?
So the mega camps are a combination of all of these schools getting together at one giant campus, like a Florida State or like Florida Atlantic or Florida International, and all of these coaches from all these universities are coming in and basically picking the fruit off the vine, or picking the apples off the tree. And primarily from what I've seen, and I commend them for this, Coach KJ Black and Willie Simmons, they've been basically all over this state. They've been down to Broward and Miami-Dade and back up to Tallahassee again at these camps. And I commend them for this. Because, I mean, look, having gone to two camps similar to this in the past, there is a lot of kids that get overlooked when there really are there's a lot of talent at these camps. And most of the time you have a lot of these Power 5 coaches that are literally just only salivating at the mouth trying to get these 4 and 5-star recruits. Whereas, you look on the other two fields, like Field 2 and Field 3, there's kids over there too that are just as good, that just need an opportunity, and they need somewhere where they can go to develop. So I commend the HBCUs for going to these mega camps and doing what they need to do. I believe they were at USF not too long ago, actually, doing the same exact thing. And then this past weekend went back to Tallahassee and hosted unofficial visits for like 50 plus kids. I believe Uncle Luke took one of his high schools up there.
Uncle Luke Scott.
Yeah. Yeah, JC, what would you say?
I completely agree with you. I mean, whatever it is that you have to do to be able to help those other players who aren't necessarily getting the spotlight that these 5-star, 4-star recruits get, that's wonderful. You get an opportunity that you probably wouldn't have had going somewhere else. It's very spotty sometimes, especially now. So I think it's a good opportunity right there.
Shout out to Southern, even though they got eliminated from the NCAA.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It came with 2 losses, one to the first one was to Texas, the second one was to Fairfield. But, heck of a season. You were one of the representatives from HBCU, y'all in Norfolk. I commend them. Hopefully they can come back next season, hit the ground running, and make it back and probably do a little bit more damage. but also too, you look at that SWAC baseball. It's going to be Southern, it's going to be Jackson State, it's going to be the two teams coming in that did some damage in the MEAC and Bethune and FAMU that won a couple of titles here in like the last 5 years. So I mean, it's going to make for some good baseball. It really is, and I'm excited to see where it goes.
I agree with you, but I think what it's about now is, are you hungry enough to go further next time?
Yeah, see, I agree. That's what needs to happen.
Well, shout
You
out
gotta
to.
be.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was done talking. Go ahead.
Shout out to my Baltimore Ravens and Steve Bisciotti for donating a gift in the name of Ozzie Newsome of $4 million to the HBCU schools of the state of Maryland, which includes Bowie State University, Morgan State University, Maryland Eastern Shore, and a few more.
Shout out to Michael Jordan as well for donating.
What's that have to do?
Into Morehouse.
What's that have to do with this?
It was 4, right?
4 million.
4
yeah.
schools.
No, it was more than 4 schools.
4 schools.
I thought.
Oh, okay. I thought it was just 4, and they spent the money between some.
It may have been 4, but I know those 3 definitely.
Okay. Well, shouts out for that. Shouts out to Michael Jordan.
Whatever.
Don't hate on Michael. Don't be mad now. Listen, just be glad that he's doing this with his money. Never mind. Never mind.
Wow. Wow.
Let me stop.
Come on, 7. Come on, 7.
Yeah. See, go ahead and milk those 7 seconds out so we can get to the NFL.
Wow.
Can I kneel? Yeah, let's kneel.
You're inside the Run and Gun podcast, live on Twitter at Penalty Talk.
All right.
So with the second quarter brings a new home for Julio Jones. And by the way, Julio Jones wearing the number 2 jersey. So Julio's now a Tennessee Titan, and in the trade, Atlanta will receive a 2022 second-round pick and a 2023 fourth and 6th round pick, and the Titans get Julio. So I mean, how do y'all?
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. If you are a New England Patriot fan,
you mad?
You might be slightly angry.
You mad?
Pretty mad.
If you're a Baltimore Raven fan, you upset.
Because, and here's why I say this: if you look at the new deal that he signed with Tennessee, he's making the same amount of money as Nelson Aguilar.
Mm-hmm. And that's what a lot of Patriots. That's what one Patriot diehard on Twitter was saying. He was like, y'all literally couldn't have done this.
Hindsight is 2020 though.
Okay.
Hindsight is 2020 though. You didn't know he was gonna be available. This is really like a recent event popping off about this.
Yeah.
But I will say, you're also angry if you're a 49ers fan. Because apparently Kyle Shanahan wanted him real bad. But they were talking first round pick. But now that you see the deals come out, a second round pick and a 4th and a 6th, that's pretty good for somebody like Julio Jones.
And then you got to think about it too. I kind of understand why he didn't go to San Francisco. The Falcons didn't want to send him somewhere in the NFC. They wanted to get him out of the NFC and get him to the AFC.
Could have sent him to Baltimore.
Let's be honest. I don't think that they really cared that much. No, he's not going to Baltimore. I don't think that they really cared that much about where they sent him, but more so what they were going to get for him, right? And just trying to get him off the cap. I mean, they've been in cap issues for how many years now? Getting rid of Julio brings space. It brings motion. Now the next thing they have to worry about is what they're going to do with Matt Ryan.
Listen, it wasn't like they were going to win anyway. So
the funny thing about it was like the Falcons fans were breaking down that offense after the draft because they were like, how are you going to cover Kyle Pitts and Calvin Ridley? and Julio, and now Julio's gone, so now it's really just
Don't
Calvin
play, we all
Ridley,
said
Kyle
that.
Pitts, and Russell Gage.
We all said that. We all said that.
Well, the
Don't
easiest
play.
way to
It was like,
cover-
nay.
The easiest way to cover Julio Jones is make sure they trade him.
Yeah. Yeah. You think somebody threw some salt in the water? It's like, yeah,
Yep.
Julio, you might want to go, bro. Think about it. Think about it, Julio. How many Super Bowls you been to, bro?
Wow.
Gosh.
One that your team tanked.
Yep. Also, Trevor Lawrence says nobody works harder than Tim Tebow.
Because he's 50.
No, you said it. You said it right. You said it right the first time. Nobody wants.
Oh my gosh. Let's see.
Listen, I'm a Tebow fan. I'm a Tebow fan. Let me explain myself.
Okay.
I'm a Tebow fan. But, man, you know, that could have been a spot for an undrafted rookie. You know, could have been a spot for somebody who was in the league last year and just can't get a spot this time. Not somebody who's been out the league for a number of years, right? And who was only out of the league because he didn't want to play
the same
tight end
position
before or H-back.
Right. Tell you that,
Yeah.
He didn't want to do that
He didn't
before.
want to place that in.
But you'll never see anybody
He was
who
only
work as hard as I will. You'll never see anybody who will prepare as hard as I will. You'll never see anybody who will give as much as I give. And you'll never see anybody who won't make it through training camp with my number.
Wow. I can agree with that.
Would it be wise to use Tebow as a quarterback in certain packages similar to his freshman year at Florida?
He was 19 then.
That's true too. But you got to think about who's the head coach.
How long has it been since he actually thrown a football in the NFL?
2012, wasn't it?
What he been doing since then?
Playing baseball.
Playing baseball, throwing baseballs,
I,
and working the SEC network. Now, I will say in his defense, most baseball players, they can cut it as NFL players.
Yeah.
yeah.
But they're not 36.
That's true too. Dang, at least I ain't gonna give him a chance. This is really just a publicity stunt. This is a publicity stunt to sell tickets.
Not to harp on you, right? But we not talking about minor league players.
Right. He was
That's
a minor.
You ain't talking about no minor league players.
Right.
You talking about major league players.
Right.
So yeah. Look, this was a stunt to sell tickets. We know that already. They are working on building a facility though, so I will give Jacksonville that. Hopefully, it's pretty nice when it's finished.
So you're saying that nobody was buying tickets before Tebow and Trevor Lawrence got there? Are you saying that?
Having been to a Jacksonville game before in the past, no.
I have a question.
What's up?
Who cares if Tua admits that he was uncomfortable calling plays as a rookie? He was getting paid to do so, right?
You know, I'll agree with you there, but I will say he looked mighty comfortable for somebody who was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. He really did.
And this team did pretty. They did pretty good with him under the helm. So,
Yep.
Danger.
Exactly. It makes you optimistic about what can come in 2021, seeing as now he's got Will Fuller, he's got Jalen Waddle.
That's
he's got
my boy right there.
Playbook. I think the jury's still out on as far as who's faster, Jalen Waddle or Devontae Smith, or even Henry Ruggs. I'd love to see that race.
Listen, I knew if they got Kyle Pitts or Jalen Waddle or Devontae Smith, that was going to open the Dolphins up. And wait till they get Deshaun Watson to go with it. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, we're not. No, we not opening that can of worms. No, sirree. Let me ask y'all
You
a
would
question.
trigger a lot of
2-minute
Dolphin
warning coming up.
fans. But oh my
2-minute
gosh.
warning coming up. 2-minute warning coming up. 2-minute warning
Yep.
coming up here. Let me ask y'all a question.
Go ahead.
So, I guess technically, we're kind of old these days, right? Like we're a little bit old. The USFL is coming back.
Yes, it is. It is. They are talking about
But
bringing it back.
the XFL is coming back at the same time.
So there's going to basically be a war for ratings in the spring.
There's gonna
And
be,
you
there's
still
gonna be
have
a
the
war for
spring
ratings.
league. The spring league is here.
Yes, that's true. I saw that actually on my TV guide.
You're gonna have a war for ratings, and you're gonna have a war over the NFL's approval
Yes.
and talent. Because whoever gets the NFL approval, if they ever give it, so help me God, is the one that will actually survive. Because then they'll have enough money to keep going for a while.
Yeah, and it. Because see, my thing, I want to know this now. How many teams is the USFL going to open up with? Because I mean, we know how many teams the XFL had, and then the other thing about it too is like you said, with the NFL giving permission comes who's going to have permission to use these stadiums. So, for instance, if the Tampa Bay Bandits do come back,
Woo!
and the Tampa Bay Vipers are back, and they both play in Tampa on the same weekend. Who does Tampa Sports Authority?
I don't think it's permission per se because each stadium comes down to whoever owns it.
Yeah, it's not an NFL
Right.
licensed
So
building.
But I
That's
will
not.
say it's between whoever the NFL decides. Yeah, maybe we'll use this as like a D league or something.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the money's at. All right.
You're inside the Run and Gun podcast, live on Twitter at Penalty Talk.
Thanks
And
for
that brings
joining
us-
You made it halfway through. Hold on. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, don't forget to message it and tell us, or email us if you're seeing this later.
Yes. And also, too, while we start the NBA, you got to give a shout out to Nikola Jokic. The Joker has won the 2020-2021 NBA MVP award.
Can I,
Go ahead.
as an ambassador of goodwill of this show, I would like to extend congratulations to the Lakers and invite them to come watch the rest of the playoffs with us.
I love it. LeBron, if you can fit through my doorway, you can show up.
Hey, LeBron's he's switching to number 6. He said I'm not going to wear 23 anymore. So I was like, okay, so now all of a sudden you want to pay your respect to Michael Jordan again,
It's
like
not
you did when
even
you were in
the
Miami?
Monstars. It's the Goon Squad. That's ew. But I will say, shout out to Jokic, right? Congratulations on winning MVP from fat men everywhere. Thank you.
That's the funny thing. They always post that picture. They're like, you see this guy? This guy
What-
won NBA MVP. I was
They
like,
were-
hey,
they were
look.
talking about when he got to the league, he couldn't do a push-up. Look at this dude now.
You can do
Yep.
3.
Look at he averaged a double-double. He get damn near triple doubles.
Listen,
Yep.
it doesn't matter if you got a belly. If y'all remember Utah back when Karl Malone and John Stockton were playing, they had a center by the name of Antoine Carr. And Antoine Carr was built like a doom buggy. And again, he could play, but that belly was hanging, boy. But he could play. So I wasn't rooting for Utah, but I was rooting for Antoine Carr because he had the colored shades on too when he played. I'm telling you, that belly come down the court before he did. It was cool though.
Gosh,
Well,
that's funny.
nowadays they look at you with stigma on that one. So, Jokic, from one fat man to a dude looking good. Shouts out to you.
Shout out.
It's true. Also, too,
All right.
the Joker is also now the 6th international player to win the MVP award in the history of the league.
Dirk.
Yep.
Before you say it, Patrick Ewing is American. He just couldn't talk back then.
Stop. Oh my
Oh,
god.
that's perfect.
Good
Dirk.
Lord.
I can't even think now. Jesus, that's that.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's messed up.
Oh Jesus.
Did Ginobili ever win?
No, Ginobili. No.
What about Tim Duncan?
Yes, he
Tim
did.
Dunk.
Yes, he
Does
did.
he count as international?
Well, he's from
Yes,
the
he did.
Virgin Islands, but I don't know if it's from the U.S.
That's a
Virgin
US
Islands.
territory.
Well, part of it is.
Oh, part of it.
I don't know. Can you imagine? He was a swimmer. I would be so mad if I was on the blocks next to him. Dude, when you dive in, you're halfway there.
That's
Sorry. But it is basketball. Hey, the Hawks get it done in game 1 against the number 1 seeded 76ers in Philly. 76ers.
But also, I want to ask this question now for y'all. And I know the series got tied up 1-1 last night. Is the basketball world finally realizing how good the Atlanta Hawks really are?
No. They're in the East.
no.
That's true, too. I can honestly say
listen.
one thing. Go ahead.
Win or loss, we're gonna stop talking about the Hawks. That's pretty much how it works.
Yeah.
If they come out of the East, they'll be in everybody's conversation. If they come out of the East.
Yeah.
I don't
They
think
will.
Trey Young's gonna be. He's gonna need some help. I'm sorry, that's y'all show. Go ahead.
Yeah, he
No,
does
you're
need.
completely
He
right.
needs a little bit more help. He really does. I will say I think he needs a big body down low. That's the dominating presence. I really do. I think he needs another shooter with him.
Speaking of which, why did the Lakers get rid of Dwight Howard?
You know, I asked the same question. Why the Lakers get rid of Rajon Rondo? 2 key pieces. But yes, that is exactly why.
The almighty dollar, baby.
Yes.
That's
And now
why.
they're home on the range.
Literally. And then someone said Kyle Kuzma is one of those casualties of this offseason.
And he turned down a contract. He turned down what, 85 or 88 million?
Something like that.
Thinking when they won the championship he could cash in. Yeah, he did a Mike D'Antoni. Remember when D'Antoni was coaching Houston? It turned down to $7 million a year, and then they got bounced from the playoffs. Sorry.
You know, sometimes you bet on yourself, and you always hear about the ones who
Craps!
bet on themselves and win. He bet and lost, man.
It's literally you had that meme where he's sitting there and he's looking at LeBron like, we're gonna get him next year, right? And LeBron's looking at him like, we?
You going to China? You going to China, man?
I've been looking at him the same way. I'm like, no. Mm-mm.
You going?
We
to go
will.
play Tracy
You won't.
McGrady.
Yeah. Okay, the Jazz met the Clippers in game 1 of their series. I need to ask this question to my 2 esteemed colleagues here. Did the Clippers win it all since the Lakers are at home?
They got to get through Phoenix.
Utah,
I believe
don't they?
the West is going to come down to getting through Phoenix. After the display of offensive and defensive dominance I saw from Phoenix in game 1 against the Nuggets, like, you know, crashing the boards defensively, getting offensive rebounds on the offensive boards, getting much needed 3-pointers, and even shooting excellent from the field goal and the free throw line. You know, it's hard to compete with that. And then they've been consistent with it. So I think the Clippers, they got to get a little bit more aggressive defensively. They have to box out. They have to be able to get their own rebounds in order to, you know, get to the finals.
Nice.
I won't say win, but
Now-
get to the
I like what you're saying there, but I feel like we're getting one important thing. that they're playing the Jazz, who they lost to first game.
Yeah.
So, and the Jazz are no slouches themselves. I mean,
They're really not. The Jazz are pretty good too.
defensively, they are always a solid team anyway. So, I don't think that you can just play it off as, yeah, they got to get through Phoenix. They still got to get through Utah.
That's what I was saying when you said that. I was like, the Jazz. Whew.
Because I'll say this: there's been instances where in certain games, Rudy Gobert has just taken over in certain portions.
He's not just the average Gobert.
Yeah, and then by the time the opposing team realizes, like, oh my gosh, he's like dominating the daylights out of us, it's too late and you're already down and you're in a large deficit sometimes. But I think it's gonna come down to that. They've got to stop him. They've got to if they want to have a chance. Because I mean, look, they lost 112 to 109 last night, but I mean, look, it could be worse. It could be.
I'm gonna take the ball here and I'm gonna score in 50 seconds. Listen to this. All I'm gonna say is, Milwaukee. How come it seems like every regular season that you're just amazing, but then when it gets to the playoffs, you disappoint me? You know why? It's because the one formula you have that works with Giannis is so easily exploitable in the playoffs.
Exactly.
Once they smother Giannis and cover the shooters, it's over. There's nothing else to do. There's no keeping up.
But
better.
Don't they have Drew Holiday?
They got Dante DiVincenzo too, but that ain't really doing much.
Listen, y'all need to do better, or Giannis is just gonna get mad and leave y'all behind.
You're inside the Run and Gun Podcast, live on Twitter at Penalty Talk. Hot topics.
Giannis should have done that already, by the way.
He got
But
paid.
We on the new things.
He got paid.
the NHL, or not
Lightning!
the NHL.
Sorry.
Before we get to that, I want to talk about this, and I know JC wanted to hit on this for a while. Former NFL offensive lineman and assistant coach Eugene Chung, who is Korean, says he was told he was not the right minority while interviewing for an NFL coaching job this offseason. He said, "It was said to me, you're really not a minority," Chung said during a webinar Thursday, according to the Boston Globe, adding, "I was like, wait a minute. The last time I checked, and when I looked in the mirror and brushed my teeth, I was a minority." Mind you, he's 51, played 5 seasons in the NFL, 55 career games. What do y'all got?
He played for Kansas City, didn't he?
Yes, he did. He played for Kansas City. He played for New England. Well, actually, no, he was a coach for Kansas City and Philadelphia, but he played for New England, Jacksonville, and Indianapolis.
I thought he played for. Okay.
What y'all got?
Well, we've been not the right minority for decades, so
Let me get on my soapbox here. What's the rule called that they have to interview minority candidates for coaching?
Rooney Rule.
But they have to interview. I thought it was African Americans, but it's minorities.
I believe it's minorities.
Yeah, it is minorities. It's minorities. Yeah, you got to interview at least one.
Right, and it could be after you've made your decision. Go ahead.
I will say that despite the Rooney Rule, nothing ever really seems to change.
There you go.
Right? Because there's so many exploitables about it, right? And the fact is that if you don't want to hire a minority coach, you're not going to hire a minority coach. That's just the bottom of it, right? And we've been, I guess, almost hooting and hollering for it for a while now. Let some color in the daggone owner's field.
Exactly.
Owner's box. There we go.
No, and I'm sorry. Go ahead, guys. I'm sorry.
Go.
I agree. I mean, I will say as well too. I mean, I look at it like this. I find it very hard to believe that only Eric Bieniemy got a head coaching interview and didn't even get hired for a job. And then I still can't believe that Todd Bowles and Brian Leftwich didn't even get interviews. But I mean, look, the rest of the league can act stupid if they want, but
Who did Eric
You go
Bieniemy get interviewed by?
Atlanta. He got interviewed by Atlanta, and they still didn't take him.
Okay.
But my thing is, I look at it like this: the rest of the league can go ahead and act stupid. The
But
two most exciting teams right now, two out of like I want to say maybe 5 or 8 exciting teams in the NFL right now are Tampa Bay and Kansas City.
But there was another minority interviewed and hired by the Houston Texans.
That's true. That's true.
A lot of
But,
people
I mean-
say he's not qualified, but we'll find out. At least he got a chance after he's like 60,
Yeah.
67
Yeah.
or 65.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
agree with you
know,
guys wholeheartedly, man. I mean, we get confused sometimes. The NFL is a private organization, and because they've been able to say National Football League, we think that there's some boundaries that they have to operate within. That that they're tied to like the government or the country, but they're not. They just call themselves a National Football League, and it's a private organization. And
Yeah.
it's tough to get them to bend their rules because just like a boss, just like just like a boss during the my mind just went blank. During the 60s when we were pushing for not integration but fair hiring. Well, I hire people who I'm comfortable with, which means I hire people who look like me. That's what the NFL's been able to hide behind for so long. That's why I always salute Al Davis, because when nobody else was hiring us, he hired Art Shell.
Yeah, I agree. I love that about Al Davis. That's one thing I commend about Bruce Arians' staff right now. He's got not only minority coaches on his staff, but he's got female coaches on his staff. And that's something that I respect. I love the fact that in Kansas City, you've got Eric Bieniemy, who I think should get a head coaching job somewhere else. But if the league wants to act stupid and let him and what's not Mike Holmgren, the dude that be eating the cheeseburgers and stuff, the head coach, him and then Patrick Mahomes, if they want to let that trio stay together and do more damage to the AFC West and the AFC, by all means, Eric Bieniemy, you stay where you are. And Eric Reed, when Eric Reed,
Andy Reid,
when Andy Reid decided to retire, I mean, that's what he said after he won the Super Bowl 2 years ago. He was like, "I'm gonna go back home and have that
who he's talking about cheeseburger."
Yeah, I wasn't going to jump in. Yeah.
That's what he said. But I mean, look, by all means, Eric Bieniemy, you stay put right where you are. When Andy Reid retires, take over and give the NFL hell.
But
I say the same thing.
You assume that the
I assume
ownership is gonna hire him.
I assume and I hope. And I say the same thing about the Glazers in Tampa with that entire staff. I hope that they are now seeing with what Bruce Arians is doing. Let me finish. I hope they see what Bruce Arians is doing and what all of these guys and girls are doing and how they are able to take control and work with these players. They see the fruit of their labor.
No. I'm not mad at you for what you said. I'm mad at you for who you said it about. Because did you just expect the Glazers to use common sense?
I mean, honestly, I'll be real with you. It's going to be a while before Bruce retires. And I'm not going to go here with you about this because we do this every 3 weeks for some reason.
I
Y'all
thought
can't
you would
get
agree with me. Wait.
Hey, look. When we get to that bridge in 5 to 7 years, because Arians already said he plans to be in Tampa after Tom is gone, we will talk about it. But because we do this like every 3 to 6 weeks, I'm not gonna do this with y'all tonight.
I'm not saying anything bad.
Wait a minute.
I'm saying
don't get snooty and defensive over there.
I'm agreeing with you that the staff has done good things. All I'm saying is,
are the Glazers going to keep this up?
Made
right.
Good decisions
because they had they had a good coach there.
Yeah, they did.
Somebody who brought the
did.
talent that Gruden used to win a Super Bowl. Yeah, just,
We literally said this before off air. Don't try and get on air and then act like a Glazer told a line, dude. Come on, come on. Don't do me like this. I was trying to support you, dog.
No, you never know. You got to keep your guard up. But with this last minute 37 or last minute 35, I will say second period of the second round of the NHL Stanley Cup Playoffs.
let's go Lightning.
The Lightning have already advanced. The Lightning are watching this one closely. Boston and the New York Islanders are tied up at 1 in the second period.
That's a good series, bro. That's a
It
good
is.
series.
This has been a very physical series.
Yeah.
And then even out west, I've been impressed. You got the Avalanche and the Golden Knights. The Golden Knights are up 3-2.
They're starting to come back because people were saying that series was going to get wrapped up and the Avalanche were going to win the Stanley Cup.
That's what. I was one of those people. And then the Jets have already been swept by the Canadians.
There was a Jets in the postseason. Oh, Winnipeg.
Yeah, Winnipeg,
not New York. Okay.
Oh yeah, but yeah, no, it's kind of hard to believe that. I was kind of surprised because I was like, maybe I need to elaborate more on this whole Jets thing. Because some people might think it's New York and be like, "What?"
Benny and the Jets.
This is
You'd believe that before New York.
I believe it's Winnipeg.
It is Winnipeg. Yeah,
this is the Winnipeg Jets. Yeah. They are in the Stanley Cup playoffs against, or they were, and now they got knocked out as a Canadian. They were. Yeah, you brought up the broom.
I give a shout out to the Lightning, the way they played against the physical, fast Hurricanes, and they were able to take it 4-1. Oh yeah.
I will say though, as we get ready to wrap this up, if you have not seen the second period of game 4, you need to go watch it. You need to go watch the highlights. That was the best period of hockey I've ever seen in my life.
You're inside the Run and Gun Podcast, live on Twitter at Penalty Talk.
No longer, because we're actually wrapping up right here. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jay Cee.
I'm JPeeps.
And don't forget to follow us on our little handles down below. YouTube,
look at the bottom line. You can find us at all
Flag, Spotify, Penalty Talk, the Run and Gun Podcast. All these things you can find us on. If you need to email us, don't forget to hit us on flagonthePlaysports@gmail.com. That's flag on
It's right there. Go on, there it goes. There it goes.
Right there. And any wrap-up things you want to say real quick?
You know what? There is one thing I will say for the media members out there that are asking some of these athletes, high school, college, and pro, if they've been vaccinated or not. Shut up. Stop saying that to people. That is not your business. Keep your medical history to yourself.
Ooh, sorry.
All right.
No, I was trying to play this.
Ooh. Oh, what's up? Sorry for the bit of lateness. There's been some technical difficulties, but we are beyond that now.
Yes, sir.
I'm Jay Cee.
I'm JPeeps. Welcome to another episode of the Running Podcast.
Wonderful episode for you today. Lots of stuff to talk about. An amazing episode. Lots of stuff to talk about in the NFL.